We know Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam after Nubuwah, after at the age of 40 when he was given Nubuwah, Rasulullah spent 13 years of his life in Makkah al-Mukarramah. And that is the majority of his life was spent in Makkah Mukarramah. So we know from that phase of his life there are many, many lessons that we can derive from the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, we will start here. The Muslims were a minority in Makkah Mukarramah. We see the first slide. Now what can we learn as Rasulullah being a minority in Makkah and likewise the Sahaba being a minority in Makkah Mukarramah? The first thing we should understand is we need to beautify and we need to perfect our character. This is the one thing that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam you can find from the Meccan life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let me give you an example. We know at the age of 35 in Makkatul Mukarramah there came the issue. This is even prior to Nubuwah. Allama Idris Kandalwi rahmatullahi alayhi has mentioned that the issue came regards the rebuilding of the Kaaba. The rebuilding of the Kaaba. Now, you know, it was a very, very delicate issue. Okay, who will place the Hajar Aswad in its position when the Ka'batullah is built? Now, these were warring tribes. These were individuals who used to fight all the time. Harbu Bu'ath is a very, very common battle. Hazrat Mawlana Alimiyah Nadwi has mentioned there was battles amongst the people of Arabia that lasted for petty issues for even 100 years. 40 years, 50 years was absolutely common practice for them to fight for petty issues. Now this was a very, very big issue. Why? Because this was a matter of honor and dignity. So who will get the accolade of placing the Hajar Aswad in the position? What was the thing eventually decided? They decided that the person who walks into the Kaaba and the Haram, the first one in the morning, he will be the one who will decide and he will be the one who will judge what will happen in regards to the placing of the Hajar Aswad. Now see, Rasulullah has beautified his character in such a way in Makkah Mukarramah, even prior to Nubuwah, that as soon as they see Rasulullah in the morning, what were the words that came out from the tongue of these individuals? It was As-Sadiq Al-Amin. As-Sadiq, the truthful and the trustworthy one. And these were the words that came out from the tongue of Rasulullah, from the people of Makkatul Mukarramah. And from there we realize Rasulullah, how he built his character. Now this is the lesson we can learn when we are here in this country in a minority, and we are in a minority. The census of 2001 shows that we are in this country, approximately our population is 4.8% of the entire country is made up of Muslims. So we are in a big minority. Now what do we learn? We purify our character, we beautify our character, we perfect ourselves. And this is what we can learn from this aspect of the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, today, wallahu alam, I don't know what the latest figures are, but I can tell you in 2011 the figures that have come out, alhamdulillah, I'm not saying is because of the character of the Muslims, because this was a promise of Allah, yuriduna an yutfi'u nur Allah bi afwahihim wallahu mutimmu nurihi walau kariha al-kafirun. Allah Ta'ala will elevate his nur and the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be elevated. The factor is how we will be utilized for this cause. This is the main aspect. In 2011, the statistics that they've given is, this is a very, very conservative estimation. Between 5,000 to 10,000 people in this country are embracing Islam every single year. And from Muslim sources we find, or from Inayat Banglawala, we find there are approximately between 15,000 to 25,000 people in this country are embracing Islam. You know, alhamdulillah, it will spread. But the matter is how I am utilized for people coming into Islam. Because if one individual has come into Islam because of me, because of you, inshallah, this will make our akhirah. So number one, the first aspect we learn is beautifying our character when we are in a minority. Today, you know, you will be shocked. The articles that are written in regards to Islam, 62% of all articles that are written are in relation to Muslim terrorism and Muslim fanatics. 62% of all articles that are written today are in regards to that. Despite that, we see in this country approximately up to 15,000 people are embracing Islam. I'd just like to share with you one incident, inshallah. Shaykh Zulfiqar Naqshbandi, I'm sure a lot of the brothers here have heard him as well, have seen him. You know, he says one day we were outside a masjid in America, in I think it was Santa Barbara or somewhere. He says we were outside the masjid, and a lady was passing by, and she was driving quite fast. After going past the masjid, driving past the masjid, she puts on a emergency brake, and then she reverses back. She comes back and she says to the person who was there, okay, who is this Shaykh, or who is this elderly man? Obviously, he's got a long beard, and he's got, mashallah, he wears a turban, okay, he's got a long jubbah. He says, who is this man? He says, we are all Muslims. He says, you know what, I want to become like him. I want to become like him. You will not believe, on that one gathering, just seeing his apparel, just seeing his outwardly appearance, she says, I want to become a Muslim just seeing this man here. Okay, because if this person is a Muslim, it must be the Islam, the religion of Islam must be a true religion if this is what it educates. Because, you know, as soon as she came, he put his gaze down, he did not look at her, he put his gaze down and he spoke to her via the interpreter. But she says, alhamdulillah, she's embraced Islam. See, because it's the character of a Muslim will bring so many people in Islam. Unfortunately today, we are living in a minority. In some cases, we have driven away non-Muslims away from Islam, unfortunately. You know, in 1977, Yusuf Islam embraced Islam. And do you know what he said a few years back? He says, it's good I met with Islam first and then I met with Muslims. It's good I met with Islam first and then I met with Muslims. If it was the other way around, maybe today I might not have been a Muslim. If I had met with the Muslims first. So this is what, you know, it's something that we have to keep into consideration. And inshallah, we're going to go through a few things here. How to live in this country being in a minority in the light of the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the first thing was, we've discussed the first point, to beautify one's character